Well, we're almost through LP2 PowerPoint slides, second to the last one, Chapter 8. And this is an important topic, search marketing, engine optimization, and pay-per-click. So these are good terms to know about and be familiar with. If you're looking to design a website, these are particularly search engine optimization is an especially important aspect or element in the design and the content that you choose to put on it. So every day, more than half the users online do some kind of search. I'm using it practically. 92% of U.S. internet households have used some kind of search. 29% search daily. That's young and old alike. All races, ethnicities use it on a regular per common percent basis. They're most likely college educated. And users search for just about everything. And marketers use search for about everything in terms of their objectives. They use it to build branding. They use it to create lead. They use it to sell, drive traffic, provide content. What are the different types of search? Directly listing, search engine marketing, and again, SEO is search engine optimization, and PPC is pay per click, also known as paid search. So the fundamental difference is that search engine optimization is all about trying to push people to a particular site or pull them to your site, either push or pull. Mostly pull, by being tapped into certain keywords or phrases that somebody would put in their search or would exist within the content of the website to which you're pulled to. And then paid search would be things like pop-ups and stuff that the advertiser or the company that is trying to solicit you or sell you something would pay more to the server, like Google, as you click through a particular ad series, ultimately, hopefully, to a purchase itself. And what and how they charge depends on the particular business model. It might just be a penny for every click-through, or they may also conceivably a commission on the sale. That could happen with somebody like Amazon. So what you want in your site, again, are keywords or phrases that that searchers, customers, are using in their search process. And the more of these that are connected to your site in some form or fashion, the more likely you're able to show up as a choice. And there's algorithms that mine on any given search that morass or universe of information on the internet, and they try to match, again, keywords in your search with what the most likely candidates are out there. All happens at the speed of light. So when somebody is searching for a particular item, let's say automobiles, whether or not they're taken to your site depends on your page, use the home page within your site, your rankings on the web itself. In other words, apart from the taglines and words, how many people actually end up at your site on a regular basis, because they could get there through a search, or they could go there because they're familiar with your site. And so how often people simply go to your site on their own is also a factor in how ultimately you're ranked. And then again, the term that is used in the search has explicit and implicit impacts. Explicit would be the words they use in the search actually match words on your site, but also it could be some implicit when somebody looks for a car. If there are numerous different choices within several sites for which that would be important, so you would get a more diversified list most likely. So this is a good, I like this one to point out the difference between different types of searches. So it starts with your keyword, pink purses, and a paid search would be somebody who pays the server, in this case Google, Yahoo, Microsoft, whomever, to put their site up when those keywords are used. And then organic search results would be that the site, through its popularity over time, effects or demonstrates as a consequence of user patterns. And so you've got Pinkbag is paying to be on the list, but you have a couple of other sites that, like Pink Croc and somebody else, that searchers end up going to on their own as a consequence of their preference for that particular site. And all those things collectively end up affecting a site's rating and how and where it comes up. If obviously, this is implicit, I think, where you have paid search on the right, if you're not happy with your own organic search results for a particular product, you can circumvent the time it takes to develop it by paying for an impact or effect in the search process. To no surprise, Google dominates the search process, with Yahoo and Microsoft at closely tied for second and third place. If you want to rank high in the search engine optimization process, then you need to look at links, content, taglines, and title in the URL. The URL would be, if AT&T is in your URL name and somebody's searching for AT&T, that's going to be a definite advantage. So if your name functionally into your URL, that's an advantage. Thereafter, it's keywords, links to other sites, the overall content on the web page and the subsequent pages, to what extent they complement the terms that are used in the search. Again, organic growth in the popularity of your site is just what occurs naturally over time. How popular your site becomes in kind of a non-search context. People don't go, lots of your customers don't have to search for it because they know it's there. They've discovered it in earlier search processes. And there are many things that can affect that popularity or that recognition in the marketplace and on the web. And some of those factors may be just related to general brand image that has developed over time, either pre-internet or in channels outside the internet. If you're going to develop an e-marketing plan to grow your overall awareness, it starts with defining your target market. Who are the key players that you're trying to attract or appeal to? And what are the various things? Maybe you have one product or two products that they're most interested in that would bring them to your site, and to what extent are those products or services reflected in the content within your site. So you want to have a strategy, obviously, of keywords and phrases. You want to design the site with the keywords in mind. You want to register the site with a search engine, AT&T.com, and implement paid search campaign to complement. That's optional, but usually an organic and paid work are used together. Paid would be, as I noted earlier, you would likely pay until such time as you develop your overall awareness of your site organically. For the Department of Motor Vehicles, you may well use a combination of the two, depending on, again, what it is you're trying to promote or solve as a consequence of, let's say, using paid advertising. Remember that paid can be done on a geographical basis. So if an IP address is in Texas, let's say, and somebody is Googling DMV, you would want to come up as one of the choices of the 50, more than 50 actually, the numerous, 50 other DMVs run by the other 50 states, 49 states. So if you're considering paid search, you'd want to, again, be clear in what the keywords would be. The few keywords that you're paying for that most likely would direct them to you. Might be DMV, Texas. Determine the cost, determine the outcomes, design appropriate ads that would end up showing up, and then run your campaign and again have an idea before you ever started how you're going to measure the results. If it is to drive people to the site to clarify certain issues, then you can measure the impact of those subsequent to instituting your strategy. So there's other kinds of categories for searches that we talked about. There's local. I think I mentioned that. If somebody were searching in Texas for DMV, you want to make sure that your presence is set up so it locates where that IP address is coming from, and you would automatically, if it's programmed properly, show up as a top choice rather than on the third or fourth page in a list of 50 or more. And again, social media is a good way to enhance your search engine optimization. Common sense would tell you that the more you show up in conversations, the more they're going to be pushed to your site, maybe through direct links. The other thing is to monitor conversations that are going on in social media so you can learn the buzzwords of the moment, what products are most popular, how people are communicating, and you can take some of those words, introduce them into the content of your site, and therein affect traffic to your site. So real quickly, here's a summary. Be familiar with search engine optimization. It relates to organic search. And then pay per click as another consequence, as another media that you can use in order to drive traffic. You just circumvent by paying up front for traffic for a positioning in a search process. You end up at the top of the list by paying the server for it. Over time, an objective is to not have to do pay per click, but rather rely on the bulk to all of your traffic to your site from organic search.